Okay. Okay, I'm doing right now. Okay. Hey guys, welcome to the webinar. I want to formally say thank you to all you guys for joining. We're still getting a bunch of people in. We're also streaming on YouTube for those of you that are interested as well. If you are not following us on YouTube, make sure that you follow us on YouTube as well. I'm going to add that into our thing as well. Follow us on YouTube. Follow us on YouTube. So the reason why I say that is because we have a lot of stuff that comes up on YouTube quite often, and I think it would be great for you guys to be part of that channel. We have lots of free stuff. We have lots of our webinars that come up there. We're going to be actually releasing little clips from some of our classes sometime soon as well. So I think YouTube is a great way for you guys to get to know kind of what we're all about. Okay? So once again, thank you guys for joining. This is a pretty full webinar. Wow, there's a lot of people joining today. It's awesome. Love it. Okay, so without further ado, I'm going to share my screen with you guys, and I'm going to start telling you a little bit about kind of what we do and who we are. All right. So first of all, I want to say this entire presentation, again, is going to be available on YouTube. It's streaming live right now. So if you go on our YouTube channel, Lumi Wealth is the same name as our company. Just search us on YouTube. We have a channel there. When you go in there, you'll see us live streaming. That live stream is eventually going to turn into a recording. So you'll also be able to rewatch it there as well. All right. So if you want to get a recording of it, we'll also be sending out through email, but you could get it much faster just going through YouTube. All right. Okay. So I just want to make sure that everyone can see my screen. If you can, first of all, you can chat to us. There's a chat and there's a QA. So throughout this entire presentation, you can ask questions and you can chat through our chat group. So if you guys can help me out here a little bit, let me know if you can see my screen. You can go through the chat and just type in, I can see you. If you can't see me, then please type that in as well. Or if you can't see my screen. So I'm getting a chat here. No sound. Okay. All right, let's see. No sound. Is anyone else having an issue with sound as well? The microphone should be working. I see that Zoom is picking up. So my guess sounds okay. Yeah, my guess is if you don't have the sound, okay, good, perfect, awesome. Yeah, if you don't have the sound, you probably have your volume turned down or something like that. Okay, great. So we're good to go. You guys can see my screen. Perfect. All right. So here's our agenda for today. Okay. The purpose of this class really is to kind of show you a little bit about how to build your own bot. Of course, our class goes through this in very intricate detail, everything from teaching you how to code, teaching you how to do data science. Even if you're a coder, it's still fine. You'll just, the first few classes are just going to be much easier for you than other people. But we do have people that know how to code, that know how to code other languages, but not Python, that know how to code Python. And we also have people that just never have coded before at all joining our classes. So we try to cater to everybody. And so basically, if you join our class, we also teach you how to code as well, kind of from scratch is what we do. All right. So this is our agenda. We're going to be covering, first of all, an introduction where I'm going to tell you a little bit about our company, myself, and the program. And then we're going to jump into the actual class where we're going to go over algorithmic trading, talk about kind of the returns that we make as a company as well, tools, and then go through the code and a demo. All right. So bear with me. I'm going to explain to you first a little bit about our company, myself, and so on. All right. So first of all, who am I? My name is Robert. I am the CEO and founder of Lumi Wealth. I'm also the instructor of this course, the algorithmic trading course. We have other courses now. When we first started the company, it was just one course. We have another course now for machine learning. We'll probably be making another course sometime soon on options trading as well, and maybe even cryptocurrencies. Those are ones in the works. So if you guys are interested in this kind of stuff, please let us know in what kind of courses you want. There's going to be a survey after the class, so you could tell us kind of what courses you want to be taking, how can we improve this webinar, et cetera. So please make sure you fill out that survey so you can tell us, give us feedback on how we can help you out. As I said, I'm a CEO. I'm also the instructor of the algo trading class. Why should you listen to me? Why am I the instructor on this class? So kind of my background, I've been programming for over 20 years now. I can't believe it's been that long. I am not that old. I started coding when I was, I think, 12 years old. As one of those kids that just, I don't know, loved it and just picked it up and started going with it. So I've been coding for a very long time, for all sorts of different languages: C, C++, Python, Ruby on Rails, JavaScript. Like, name a programming language, I've probably done it before, and for like multiple years, not just for a little bit. I used to also manage software teams, still kind of manage a software team now at LumiWealth. But that was my job for a number of years, everywhere from Toronto to New York. In New York, I was working at several financial companies. So at one of our companies, Greystone, we created a project. So I hired a team, built a team, planned out the project, managed the software developers and designers and everything else. We ended up building out a project that I think to date has done about 50 billion in loans. So to kind of give you an idea of like the size and things that I've been able to deal with. Also was an employee number 5, I believe, of Voyager app. Voyager, if you guys are not familiar, it is taking off right now as a stock. Investvoyager.com is what it is. These are the guys. I was employee number 5 of this company. We recently became a unicorn, which is awesome. Definitely paid me out quite well, I can tell you that much. And not as much as the people that stayed around. I know a couple of my friends are now multimillionaires because we founded this company together. But yeah, so I was employee number 5 of this company. Basically what it is, it's a crypto broker. You trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, all that other kind of stuff. The same way that, TD Ameritrade trades stocks, they trade cryptocurrencies, right? Built that out basically from scratch. I remember sitting in a WeWork office and just like 4 of us or 5 of us planning all this stuff out. So it's very cool seeing it become a unicorn. So yeah, anyways, that's enough about myself. What is LumiWealth? LumiWealth is a company where we focus on helping people improve their investment returns. That's what we're all about. That's what we really care about. I used to work on Wall Street and just looking at these people that are billionaires, have access to all sorts of investments that regular people just do not have access to, really bothered me, to be quite honest with you, which is why we started creating this company to really give back a lot of things that I learned from Wall Street and bring it to you guys, right? Which means a lot of that is software. Software is kind of eating the world right now, same as in the world of finance. The software-based hedge funds are really taking off. There's also a lot of techniques I could share with you guys that I've learned over the years. I'll show you my investment portfolio and how we performed. We've been doing pretty well as well as investors ourselves. And we want to grow from there. There's a lot of things that we want to do to help you guys as investors, right? This is our course that we're talking about today. As I said, we have several different courses, right? If you go, you can click on the link there, or there's another way to get to it. I'll show you guys, just makes it easy. Go to lumiwealth.com, LUMI wealth.com. You can click on Get Started Today, or you can kind of just scroll down. These are our services. We have an algorithmic trading course, this is what we're talking about today. We have this machine learning course, which is the brand new one that we just started. You can learn more about it here. And we also will be having subsequent webinars. We also have some pre-recorded webinars if you want to listen to that. Down at the bottom here, you see webinars, machine learning for finance and trading. If you want to watch that webinar, you can do so there as well, okay? But again, we're talking about algorithmic trading today. We also do development and consulting. So if you guys don't necessarily want to learn how to code, you want us to just build some stuff for you, we can do that as well. Just go here, there's a form that you fill out and we can take care of that for you. But to talk about algo trading, this is the course. Essentially what we do is we teach people how to build robots that will buy and sell stocks, bonds, crypto, etc. for you automatically, right? This is the kind of techniques that large hedge funds are using, the ones that are performing the best. I don't know if you guys have been learning about this, but algorithmic trading has really been taking off for, 20, 30 years now. The best performing hedge funds in the world are using these types of techniques, and that's what we're teaching to you guys. We have 3 different plans. We have a videos only plan, which we have recently renamed to self-directed, okay? We have a live classes plan, which is by far our most popular. What it basically is it's kind of, I'm the instructor, so I'm the one speaking specifically over Zoom. You guys would be able to talk back. Right now, you guys can chat back, which is nice, but imagine you could actually turn on your microphone, ask questions. It's very very interactive, right? Everyone's talking to each other. Everyone gets to know each other in the class. It's very much like sitting in a real life class, but it's a little bit different in the sense that, you get to learn these very niche topics. You don't have to be in a place like New York City to be able to get access to these types of materials. And to be honest with you, even right now with the pandemic, it's really the only thing we can do. But even if you're not from the New York area, I know there's other courses like this in New York City that used to take place, no longer, obviously. But if you're, from California, if you're from Texas, this actually enables you to be part of our classes. So this is really like an in-person type class. You get assignments. There's 2 projects that we do throughout it. You get to know other classmates. You build projects together. You get to know other people. It's very, very nice. And I'll explain a little bit more about that in a bit. We also have a project help and tutoring plan, which is basically enables us to work with you one-on-one. If you really want to get a lot of help, you're building out your own bot and you really want to make sure that's done well and yada, 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 everything needs to be done very well. There's a project help plan for you as well. These are our plans and their prices, right? So the self-directed, as I said, videos only is what we used to call it. The self-directed plan, basically it's the recording of our live classes. You could watch those live classes and you can kind of get a lot from it as well without paying as much as the live classes themselves. Of course, you're missing out on all the collaboration. You're not going to be able to ask questions live, although you can ask questions over Discord, our community, which I'll introduce you to in a bit. That's kind of self-directed classes. You can watch those videos. Live classes, you get access to all those videos. You'll get unlimited lifetime access to any new videos that come out as well. And you get to actually be part of these classes. You get to speak with your other classmates. You get to ask questions live. You get your assignments graded. You get your projects to be helped to work on. I'll tell you, last cohort, we had a lot of people presenting their projects as well, which is really cool. You get to present your project, get feedback on it, you get to see other people's projects. It's a very cool interactive environment that you get to be part of. So that's our live classes. And again, our project help and tutoring plan. If you want to join our live classes, you can click here, see available dates. And these are kind of the upcoming dates for our classes. We just started one in January. So we just had our second class, so second week. There's another one starting in March. It is 12 weeks long, 1 hour per week, approximately. Sometimes it goes over, sometimes it's a little under, but it's about an hour a week in lectures. And then you could expect to spend about 5 to 15 hours actually doing the classwork itself, depending on your skill level, right? So if you're someone who has coded before, you might not need to put in as many hours as someone who's brand new to coding. They'll have to put in more hours. This one is taking place every Thursday at 8 p.m. Eastern or 5 p.m. Pacific. And again, it's 1 hour per week live over Zoom for 12 weeks. We have also another one starting in May if that's something you're more interested in as well, okay? Also keep in mind that the registration closes before the actual date. So pay attention to that as well, okay? So as I was saying before, during this class, this is kind of our curriculum, right? So let's go over to the curriculum here. What we do is we have 3 parts, 3 months, right? The first part is basically going over the beginnings of like learning how to code and data science and that sort of thing. So it's like first class is really cool. You get to know everyone else in the class. Then we go over like a quick Python refresher. So you learn things really quickly. It's like 10 hours of Python condensed into an hour and a half or 2 hours, right? Really, really quick learning Python. So we respect the time of people that know how to code, but also for those of you that are brand new, you get that quick overview. We teach you about pandas, and then we start getting into the finance applications, right? Pandas being basically a piece of software that's like Excel on steroids, right? It's like, imagine everything you can do in Excel, but with a coding language and being able to deal with way more data. Imagine if Excel had 1 million rows, right? Actually, even more than 1 million. You could do 100 million rows in pandas. Imagine if Excel was that powerful and can just handle, crazy amounts of data, pulling data from all over the place. Super, super powerful. Part 2, we teach you about how to apply all this stuff to the finance world, right? So first of all, we teach you about how to get a bunch of this data. We teach you how to get economic data, how to get stock trading data, how to get Forex data, all that kind of stuff. We teach you how to download that and use it. We teach you how to do the typical financial metrics in code, things like compound annual growth rate, standard deviation, max drawdown, Sharpe ratio. We teach you what these mean. If you don't know what they mean, they're very important for the investing world. We'll teach you first of all what they mean and then how to use them in code. And then we spend 2 lectures on back testing, which basically means we go over, if you have a trading strategy in mind, we will basically help you out to figure out, is this a good trading strategy by using past data, right? So let's say you have a trading strategy where you want to, momentum type strategy or whatever it is, there's different indicators you want to use. You could build that strategy out in code and then test it over the past 20, 30 years. Did it work over those past 20, 30 years? Now we can say, is it going to work well over the next 20, 30 years going forward, right? So it's like testing, is this going to be working well, and give you more confidence in your trading algorithm and actually making it work, right? Those are our back testing. Then the last part of our course is actually building out this robot. Everyone always loves this part. This is so much fun. You actually learn how to connect to a broker's API. We use specifically Alpaca. There's a good reason for that. It's because they're very, very friendly with being able to teach. They have a paper trading account they could use through APIs. They're free. They give you free trades. They have an excellent API. They're really, really good. And we're getting a chat here. Can you back test done on a portfolio or just one take at a time? No, you back test an entire portfolio. Actually, you could back test multiple strategies at once. You know what I mean? So for the back testing, if you have a trading idea, you could say my trading idea is, I buy this sort of stock when it's in this specific type of situation, and back test. You could like, for example, I'll show you some more concrete examples afterwards. Like one of them that I'm going to be showing you in particular is what Ray Dalio does or recommends. It's the all-weather strategy. It's a very well diversified portfolio, and it basically has 6 different stocks that you're buying and selling and basically rebalancing over a period of time. This has been shown to really have very, very good returns, and I'll explain to you kind of the details behind that in a bit. So hopefully that answers your question. Thank you for asking it. Okay, so like I said, we use Alpaca. That's really because they're great for teaching this sort of stuff. However, I will tell you that we can also teach you how to work with other brokers as well. We're adding into our open source library, we're adding in TD Ameritrade and Binance, and we're planning on adding in a lot more over time as well. Does Alpaca have leverage and allow USA clients? They allow USA clients. I believe they have margin trading as well. If you're talking about high leverage products like futures or options, they do not, which is why we also show you how to connect to TD Ameritrade as well, right? Alpaca is just a great way to learn, right? TD Ameritrade does not have paper trading, so it's a little bit more difficult to learn, but we actually will show you how to set up TD Ameritrade, which has all those products. They have the futures, the high leverage futures, they have the Forex, they have the options, they have a bunch of different products on there they can use very high leverage if that's what you're looking for. All right, so we'll show you how to do those sorts of things. Yeah. Any brokers with option and paper trading? So TD Ameritrade has options and paper trading, but they do not have paper trading access to their API. I've yet to find a brokerage that has options and paper trading through an API. If you know one, please let me know, but I've yet to find one that has that. You could do paper trading just normally without an API through TD Ameritrade. I know they have that on their Thinkorswim platform. All right. Okay, cool. So that's for the brokers. So we teach you how to connect these brokers, and then we teach you kind of how to use our open source library. So we have something that will make this really, really easy for you. Normally building trading bots is really hard. We have this open source library here, LumiBot. We have designed this just for you guys. This is available open source, as I said, and you could download this and actually get started quite easily building out a bot. We'll teach you how to use this. We'll teach you how to back test with this. This is something that we actually teach you how to build this bot out of, right? So it's all available here, and hopefully this gives you a little bit of sense that we actually do know what we're doing. We've had this out for some time now, and it's really something that's quite powerful that will allow you to get a bot up and running and really, really get some cool stuff going without a ton of code. Before this sort of thing, you would have had to write, and I'll show you a demo. You would have had to write a ton of code just to build something like this, but we've made it very easy for you guys. All right. Okay, and then so we deep dive into all these algorithms and talk about how to build this trading robot out. And then the last lecture, we give you kind of like a little taste of machine learning, which is actually a separate class that we show as well. And I told you about that. If you want to learn more about it, it's on our website. And we do have the webinar available at the bottom here that you can watch with Greg. But we give you a little flavor of that at the end of our class as well. Okay. So there's another chat here. Do you have a live demo you built we can see in action? Yes, I'm going to show you that in a little bit. 100%. Yes, we definitely have that. Can we use TD Ameritrade instead of Alpaca during training? Yeah, you can. If you want to use TD Ameritrade, use live money to test around, more than happy to do that. We have that connector that's going to be built out very, very shortly, where you can actually use TD Ameritrade to trade as well. So you don't have to use Alpaca. That's what we show you how to use. But the way that our open source library works is that you could really use any broker. We'll show you how to build it out. Interactive brokers, we don't have one built out for that yet. And to be honest with you, their API is not great. That's why they're actually quite difficult to work with from an API standpoint. But if that's something that you're interested in, using interactive brokers, you can actually build it out, and I'll show you how to do that. It's really not that hard. Interactive brokers is a little bit more of a pain to work with, which is why we're not planning to do that. But realistically, we'll probably build that sometime before the summertime. Merrill Lynch and Fidelity, I don't think they have APIs. I don't think you can do API trading at all with Merrill Lynch and Fidelity. Actually, as far as I know, I think Charles Schwab is going to be buying TD Ameritrade, or so the rumor is, right? And that's going to give them the capability of doing this API trading. NinjaTrader, I'm not sure about. NinjaTrader might have an API. I'm not entirely sure. We could do NinjaTrader API. Let's see if they have one. Yeah, so they have one. So we should be able to use that. They have an open API. Yeah. So if you're interested in NinjaTrader, we should be able to build something out with them. And I could show you, again, you take this course, we teach you with Alpaca just because it's the easiest to work with. It really makes your life a lot easier kind of testing it that way, but we could work with a lot of different brokers. It's not just Alpaca. We could use TD Ameritrade, interactive brokers. We can add in as well. If that's something you guys are interested in, we could actually fast forward on that. We're also adding in some of the crypto brokers like Binance. So you'll be able to trade all sorts of different assets with all sorts of different brokers. So even though we teach it with Alpaca, don't feel like that's the only one that you can use. Absolutely, we're adding in more and more every day. And we'll teach you exactly how to add in your own, even if we don't have it yet, right? Okay, so that's in terms of brokers. We've covered our curriculum. We've covered the days that we're starting. The course projects is something that you guys might be interested in as well. We have 2 course projects throughout the class. It's not that you're just watching me lecture the whole time. There's a lot of back and forth, a lot of feedback. The first part of the class, the first month, it's assignments. So we kind of get you up to speed pretty quickly. And then month 2, you do the first project. And the first project is about analyzing an investment strategy. So we'll help you figure out how to do the research. We'll help you how to back test the strategy and see, is this a strategy that's going to be working? You're going to build out this project. You're going to get a lot of feedback from myself and from the other students on how the strategy is working and how you can improve it and that sort of thing. Okay, that's project 1. Project 2 is the last month of the class, and that's 4 weeks. So you're going to be building out a live trading robot. And again, you're going to be able to demo this to the class, get feedback, and really be able to build this thing out. You can actually see, by the way, if you go into, so here's a couple of these. If you go into our testimonials, this is really cool. If you go into testimonials here at the bottom of the page, you click on general testimonials, right? You can actually see testimonials from a lot of our students. And in here, for example, a game shows his trading bot working. So you can actually watch his trading bot work. You can actually also see Sentayan in this review here. He shows off his trading bot in there as well. So it's very cool. So it's not just me. I'm going to demo it for you very shortly as well, but it's not just me. Don't take my word for it. Talk to the students. They're available on Discord, which I'll tell you about in a second. You can ask them questions and so forth. For the self-directed courses, do you have the assignments and sample code for the assignments? Yeah, so the self-directed course, you can still do the assignments. You're not going to get as much feedback from the class, right? We're still going to go over the assignments. You're going to get the answers to them and that sort of thing. So it's because it's the recordings, right? You get the recordings of the lectures. So you get to still do the assignments. You still have access to the actual document, which tells you what the assignment is. You can still do it. You're not going to be able to present it to the class though, obviously, because it's just videos. It's not live, right? And you also be able to obviously work on the projects And same deal, you're not gonna be able to present to a class, but you can watch what other people did, which is really cool. So you'll have that available to you when you do the self-directed. All right, cool. Hopefully that answers your question. There's one here that was earlier. Does a pack of leverage can backtest say, okay, I think we answered all the questions. Perfect. Okay. Let me know if you have any other questions. I love this. I love how you guys are interactive like this. Is perfect. I love teaching, teaching and also giving these sort of webinars when people are very interactive. This is great. Okay, so we talked about who I am, what's Lumi Wealth, the course. One thing I must mention, our last class sold out. So if you guys want to sign up, make sure you sign up sooner rather than later. A lot of people are waiting till last minute, and we said, you know what, I'm sorry, there's no more space. We don't want to have huge classes with tons of people. So we do have a limited amount of spaces. Please make sure that you sign up. Our live classes, we've just been getting tons of demand for this, which is awesome. But it also means that if you guys want to be a part of it, please sign up sooner rather than later. Don't wait till last minute, right? Again, follow us on YouTube. I'll even say here, YouTube is Lumi Wealth, right? I'll take you to our YouTube page really quickly so you know exactly what I mean. Go here, type in Lumi Wealth into search, right? Okay, Lumi Wealth, there we go. There's our channel. Make sure that you subscribe to our channel. I don't have that subscribe button because we created the channel, obviously. But there's a subscribe button. Make sure you subscribe. You'll get any future webinars that we do, including like machine learning and any other new classes that we create. You're going to get a bunch of free material from the YouTube. So definitely make sure that you subscribe. There's a lot of value that comes from that. Okay. Another thing to mention before we dig into things is our Discord channel. Here's a link to it. This entire presentation is going to be available on YouTube, right? So when we have our YouTube, this is the recording on YouTube. There's us streaming on YouTube. I'm going to add a link to this webinar, and you can actually even go on our channel and see past webinars. You get a link to this, basically this presentation here, and you'll get the link that you can click on Discord. Make sure you join our Discord channel. People love this thing. This is what it is. So when you join Discord, it's a very active group of people. Our general channel is always buzzing with people and different ideas. It's been a lot of Bitcoin lately, of course. There's been a lot of talk about GameStop. This is a great picture today, by the way, with Elon Musk today about Dogecoin. So there's a lot of activity going on here. A lot of our past students are on here, so you can ask them questions. Ask them, don't just take my word for it. Ask our students how they enjoyed our course. I'm one person here. Learn from these other students as well and ask them what they think. We have specific channels here as well. This is our channel for our current class. These are people currently in the class. These are our alumni channel. So we have a lot of things going on here. There's a lot of activity. Join our Discord. I think you're going to really appreciate it. I know a lot of people that join, they learn a lot from it. They get to learn from our past students. They get to see how they did their algorithms and so on and so forth. So there's a lot that you can get from that Discord channel. So make sure you join. Okay. And then again, one more thing that I have to mention, there's a survey at the end of the webinar. Please take that survey. I love getting feedback from you guys. This is what I believe a good company is helping our customers. I want to do what is best for you guys. You know what I mean? It's not about what I want, it's about what you guys want. So please fill out the survey so you can tell me how I can help you. All right. Okay, cool. All right, so now we got all that covered. Let's get into actually what this whole webinar is about, teaching you guys about algorithmic trading and how you guys can actually get a robot up and running. Okay, so first of all, for those of you that don't know, what is algorithmic trading, all right? I'm assuming you guys know since you're part of the webinar, but let's go over this one more time. Basically, algorithmic trading is using software to analyze data and make trades for you, right? So basically, you can build a little stock trading robot that, for example, you could be analyzing things on Reddit, this GameStop thing, analyzing what's going on Reddit and making trades based off of that, right? You can get ahead of that. You could be making something based on technical indicators. I know a lot of people are into that. RSI, for example, is a very predictive indicator in the short run. Very predictive being, a lot of technical indicators are it's probably the most predictive out of any technical indicator. It's a very useful tool to do short-term trading, right? This is basically what you can use this algorithm to do these sorts of trades for you automatically, right? There's a million different strategies they could do with it, right? The most successful hedge funds in the world use this, right? Some examples here, Renaissance Technologies. I don't know how familiar you guys are with Jim Simmons and Renaissance, but wow, they made a lot of money. It is crazy how much money these guys made. Last I checked, they had $110 billion in assets. And to be honest with you, that could have been much bigger, but they gave back money to their investors. They said, we don't want your money anymore. We make too much interest on this, or we make too high of a return. We don't even want to manage your money anymore. So they only manage their own. And I think they have a separate fund that manages other people's money, but they like locked off their main fund. That main fund, by the way, was making a 39% average annual return with very, very low risk, uncorrelated to the stock market. So to put that into perspective, put that into your calculator, 1.4 to the power of like, let's put it this way. Let's say 40 years of this, right? I'm just going to do this quickly in my calculator. 1.4 to the power of, right? We'll go to the power of, let's say 35 years. Okay. That's insane. If you put in $1 in 35 years, going at 40%, $1, okay, would turn into $130,000. Think about that for a second. The power of compounding, 40% a year with very low standard deviation, regularly every single year, 40% a year for 35 years, $1 would turn into 130,000. It's spectacular the amount of money that these guys are making. It's absolutely ridiculous. Okay. So very, very cool guys. Let's do. By the way, he has a book on him, Jim Simmons. It's called The Man Who Solved the Markets. Really, really cool. These guys are like, it's kind of stupid how much money they're making at some point. They're like basically breaking laws because they had so much money. A little ridiculous, but cool story. Very interesting story to listen to. Some other funds that do similar types of techniques. And of course, these are very quant focused hedge funds. This is full of like mathematicians that don't even know anything about stocks, right? They're basically just using math and programming to figure out how to actually trade these stocks. Okay. Two Sigma is very similar, right? Again, they use algorithmic trading. These guys have 60 billion in assets. Citadel is another one. Bridgewater is another one. These guys are all very high performing hedge funds and have done well for a very long period of time. Yeah, Renaissance. So the question is, does Renaissance use similar programming that we teach? Yes, exactly. They use very similar techniques, right? Obviously, they're much more sophisticated. I'm not saying we're going to build Renaissance overnight. Actually, we're in talks right now where we could potentially use, maybe get you guys part of like we could build like a larger hedge fund type thing where we could all kind of collaborate together and everyone could be investing together. I know I had a conversation about this recently. I think that'd be a very cool idea. I think we can make a ton of money like that collectively, doing that sort of thing. So maybe we can build like a Renaissance by the people, for the people, right? That's something we're aiming towards. So Renaissance uses similar techniques to this. They're obviously much more sophisticated is the answer there. They've been around for a long time. They have $110 billion to spend on this stuff. So obviously, but we're going in that direction, right? Two Sigma, Citadel, Bridgewater, they all have similar kinds of return profiles. They've all done extremely well, and they're all using the same techniques, right? They're all using, machine learning. They're all using algorithmic trading. They're all using lots of data to do analysis and figure out exactly what they should be buying and selling. So we're basically teaching you the same sort of thing, right? So starting salaries at these kind of companies, very, very high. As you can imagine, starting salaries are $350,000 a year. Last time I checked. By the way, that's a base salary. With a bonus, you could easily make over $1 million if you were to get a job at one of these places. Obviously not an easy job to get, but this is how valuable this sort of stuff is, right? And another thing I must say, sometimes people don't like these things automatically buying and selling for them. We can deal with that as well. I could tell you one of our students, he has text message alerts that tell him when he should buy and sell, and he just does it manually. There's one of our students, he just prefers doing that, right? So you don't have to have this thing buy and sell for you, although obviously we recommend it because it's faster that way. But you could also have things where it sends you text messages and things like that as alerts, right? Okay, so let's talk about our returns. So this is our returns, so what we have made over the past, this was last year, right? You could see the S&P 500 did about 17% that year. We did 53%. To show you that this is actually my account. I did this last time. I thought it was kind of cool. I'm going to log in here just so you see that I'm not faking this stuff because you never know with people on the internet. I'm logging in here and show you guys. This is, by the way, one of the portfolios we manage. I manage several portfolios. We have, why is this? There you go. So this is to show you guys. That's the same thing there. Okay. So just so you know, this is actually on my phone. We're actually doing this. Okay. This is one of the portfolios we manage. Our company and myself in particular, we manage. It's amazing how much has grown now. I think we're at like $1.5 million now. Investing is going well. Can't complain. Nice, too glare. Yeah, sorry, it's a little glary there, but hopefully this is the screenshot of it, right? So hopefully this is, you can see it there. If you want, I could show it again, right? But essentially it's the same thing. Yeah, so we've been managing money for a while. I've been investing myself personally for about 20 years or so now as well. It's maybe a little less than 20. Been through 2008, been through the crash last year. I've been through it all. You know what I mean? So when you go to this course with me, we're also talking about all that experience as well, right? So yeah, so that's kind of a little bit about our returns and what we are doing. Our other, actually funny enough, by the way, this is not even the highest returning portfolio that we have. I can't show you pictures of the other one, but we actually have another one that's doing way better than that. I think we doubled it over the past year. Sorry, just joined. Is this AI deep learning to find stocks that are mispriced in the market? We have another class that basically uses machine learning and deep learning to analyze stocks. It is our machine learning class. If you go on our homepage, you could see machine learning here. Okay, that's our machine learning course. And at the bottom, we have our webinars for machine learning and finance and trading. This class is about, you can use machine learning if that's what you'd like to do, but we teach you how to build a trading robot that can buy and sell stocks automatically. And by the way, if you want to watch the beginning of this webinar, if you just joined, this is streaming live on YouTube. Go on YouTube, search for Lumi Wealth, the name of our company, right? This is our channel here. And we're actually live streaming, right? I think this is, yeah, live now, okay? This live now is going to turn into a video that you can rewatch, right? We'll also be sending this out by email, but go on our YouTube, subscribe to us, by the way, when you're on YouTube. And then this live thing here will be something that you can actually watch again afterwards. There's past recordings here as well. Analyzing investment strategy, a demo of our live trading robot. Here's the one that we did before. So you could watch these things again. So don't feel bad if you missed out on the first little bit. You can actually rewatch this. Okay. All right, cool. So that's our returns. Okay, so now let's get into one more question here. Chat. Thanks. No problem, Robbie. Cool. Okay, so tools we'll be using. So now let's get into the actual demo, and I'll show you guys. We don't have enough time to actually show you exactly how to build this thing, but I can roughly go over it with you, kind of teach you. If you know how to code, this will make a lot more sense to you than if you don't know how to code. Again, if you don't know how to code, join our classes. We'll teach you how to code. That's like what we do, So yeah, so tools we'll be using in this demo, we're gonna be using Alpaca, as I was talking about before, the broker. Again, you can use other brokers if you want. You can use TD Ameritrade, which we're adding in, Binance, we're adding in, Interactive Brokers, we don't plan to add in yet, but if you guys want us to, we can add that in. We have a bunch of developers that can actually build that out. Ninja Trader, we can add in as many as we want. I could show you guys how to build it. Isn't Visual Studio a commercial paid tool? No, it is not. This is VS Code, okay? So Visual Studio is an expensive tool, which I agree with you. We're using VS Code, okay? Visual Studio Code, this is free. It's cross-platform. I have it here on Mac, but you can also download it for Windows, for Linux, whatever you guys choose to do. It's a free tool, so that's what we're using. We only use free tools in this class. So you're not gonna have to pay for anything when you go through this class, except for that the fee itself, for the class itself, right? Alpaca is free. It also has free trades. It has free paper trading. VS Code is free. All the libraries we use is free. So don't feel like you have to pay anything other than what the free tools are. No problem. Okay, great. Okay, so our code, to describe our code a little bit. So first of all, it's open sourced. You can find it here. You can click on this link. You can also search for it, LumiBot, LumiWealth/LumiBot. This is our open source code. It really, really makes it easy for you guys to create trading robots, right? That's the whole point of this. We're an education place. We're an education company. We want to make this as easy as possible for you to make these things. We'll obviously teach you through our classes how to use this, how to code, how to analyze investments, and more, and a lot more than that. But this is kind of like one of the central themes throughout our class. We'll teach you how to use this, and we'll teach you how to get really good at this, right? This is what you could use to actually build out your bots, right? So this is our open source library that we have, okay? We have a bunch of example strategies in here, which let me show you the strategies here. You go into LumiBot if you guys know how to code. We have strategies and then examples. Okay, these are different example strategies, and I'm going to walk you through a couple of them today and show you them actually working live, and kind of explain a little bit about what they do. But obviously we have time constraints. In the class itself, we go through them in really intricate detail, right? So we have example strategies. We have data sources, as I said. You can add in different brokers, different data sources. We've built this so it's very easy for you to build on top of it, right? I've had some great coders actually give us some really nice compliments on the way that this is structured. It's made very, very easily for you to be able to add in new brokers. So if you want to add in a new broker, very easy for you to do. We can walk you through that. We're also ourselves adding in new brokers. New data sources is going to be very easy for you to add in. You want to add in Twitter, you want to add in Reddit, you want to add in Alpaca as the data coming in. You want to have your own flat files, CSV files, anything, you name it. It's very easy for you to add data sources. We made it as such. Okay? And it's also importantly, very easy to add your own strategy. You can create a strategy. I was on the phone with someone the other day. I think it was like 5 lines of code, and you can have a strategy working. Obviously not a complex strategy, but that's how easy it is to get this thing up and running. Okay. And I'll show you guys that. And then back testing is also included, so that you can build out your strategy, back test that strategy. And then if you think that's good, there's no difference in code. You use that exact same code to run and actually execute the strategy. So you can go back test your strategy, see if it works, test it over the past 30 years, see if it would have made you money, then put it onto paper trading, play around with it on paper trading, and then make it go live. And it's all the same code. You don't have to change anything. Okay. We've made it so it's very easy for you guys. All right. By the way, if you guys are coders, please go into the GitHub here on LumiBot. If you guys go in, make sure that you watch it and make sure that you star it. That way, whenever there's updates, you also get, you'll be privy to those updates as well. So make sure you watch and star our library as well, right? Also, that way it brings us up a little bit in the Google rankings. It's a little bit easier for you guys to search for. So it'd be nice too. Cool. Okay. So this is our demo. Let me tell you a little bit about exactly what we're going to be doing, and then I'll take you through the code. Okay. So first of all, this is meant to show off capability, not trading returns, right? These are really examples made so that you guys can learn how to build your own. That doesn't mean they're bad strategies, but that's, the main point of it is for you guys to be able to learn from this and build your own strategies, right? Some of these strategies are actually quite a good idea to use as well, okay? In this course, we go through a lot more detail, right? So this is obviously a very quick example. If you don't know how to code, this might go way over your head, but at least you'll see the demo, you'll see it working, right? We'll go way more in depth. We'll talk more about financial data science fundamentals. So, teach you specifically how to get financial data and work with it and manipulate it. We're experts in financial data, how to research your own strategies, back test them, and then how to create your own strategies. We'll go through all that stuff in very intricate depth in the class, right? And in the live class, you're going to get a lot of feedback, right? So you're going to be able to present your strategy and get feedback from other classmates. You're going to be able to get feedback from me. We'll be working collaboratively, and we'll be basically helping you build out these types of strategies, right? Okay. We're going to be demoing 3 strategies today. We have Stock Screener, which is currently broken because we just did an upgrade. Okay. But we're going to be trading these other strategies. Momentum strategy, which is basically what it does is a pretty popular strategy too. Basically, it looks at what is the stock or the asset or the ETF that did the best over X amount of days, and then just buys that asset and holds it. And then if that changes to another one, then we change the asset. Okay. So it's holding the best performer basically, right? We have another one that's an intraday momentum that does the same thing, but just within a day. So it's minute by minute. And it's also show you guys kind of the capabilities that we can do fast trading with this sort of thing. Okay. And then we're going to be showing off diversification, which again is Ray Dalio, the CEO of Bridgewater, very rich and very smart person. This is what he recommends people trade with. And it's basically just taking a bunch of assets and diversifying very well. Okay? And you can actually make a lot of money doing this sort of stuff. And I could even show you why. Okay, cool. So here's our code. This is basically if you go into our if you go into LumiBot, okay, again, make sure you watch and star this library here if you do end up visiting it. This is basically how you set it up, right? So we walk you through kind of here the basics of setting it up. This is really all the code that you need to get yourself up and running. And you basically take, yeah, you take this code and you could run this and you'll see this actually working on your own computer, okay? This is a little bit more complicated. I've added in a few more things so you guys can see kind of more capabilities of what we're doing, but essentially it's this with a little bit of extra stuff. Back testing is also fairly easy to do, and this is kind of the code that'll get you up and running with back testing, okay? So this code has both of that. This code has actual live running strategies and it has back testing both put in, okay? So we first of all import a bunch of libraries here. We import a lot of stuff from our LumiBot library. We have a budget of $100,000 that we're going to be using, okay? And that's going to be going through Alpaca right here. This is our little bot here. This has been, I'm going to refresh it here. We've been messing around with this a little bit. This is like our little testing trade account for paper trading, so I can show off things to people. We'd say where the log file is and yada, yada, a few other things. We set things up. These are our strategies, right? I've a couple of them commented out. This is the one that I'm going to show off first, diversification. And I'm going to actually even hit run right now so that you guys can see. So first of all, look at our broker. There's nothing here in our portfolio, okay? When I run this, okay, what's happening is we are, first of all, back testing this strategy, and it's on 1 year, for 2018, basically all of 2018, from January 1st, 2018 to January 1st, 2019. We're back testing it. How would our strategy have done in 2018, right? And then we basically benchmark it against another asset. So we say, how does this do against the S&P 500? Because you always need to have a benchmark, okay? And it shows you kind of the results of the benchmark test there. And then we actually run the strategy afterwards. So first we back test it, see how it would have done in 2018. Then we look at how S&P 500 did in that exact same time frame. So we can see here for this strategy in particular, it would have had a CAGR of about 0, would have broken even that year. Whereas that compares to S&P 500, which would have lost you money that year. So instead of losing money, you broke even, which is nice, right? Much lower volatility, right? So volatility was 6% versus 17% in the S&P 500. Sharp ratio, because of that, is actually better. Sharp ratio is kind of your relationship of risk to return, right? So it's basically return divided by risk, essentially, right? Max drawdown, which is the biggest loss that we would have seen for our strategy, was 5%. For the S&P 500 would have been 19%. Your biggest loss, that would have been not a fun time. You lose almost 20% of your money. And then ROMAD is kind of a measure of your return compared to your max drawdown. Okay, so we beat the S&P 500 in 2018. That's fantastic. Very hard to beat, but our strategy beat it, and that's amazing. And it's also doing it with much less volatility and much less stomach upset, right? Which is also very useful because you can leverage this kind of strategy and you can make even more money off of it, right? So strategies that have lower standard deviations, typically what hedge funds will do is they'll leverage them. And even though, you know, they're not making, like, for example, if you test this over, we could put a back test over a longer period of time. What this strategy does is very low deviation over a long period of time. And, you know, at first doesn't look like it's being the S&P 500, but it is very much competing right neck and neck with it. But because it has a lower volatility, it means that you can leverage it and actually really beat the S&P 500. And that's basically what Ray Dalio is talking about. So you can, this is a pretty low risk way to beat the S&P 500, put it that way, right? And pretty well researched over a long period of time. Okay, so again, we did the back test, we ran that, and then now we actually bought the stock. So let's take a look here. And if we give it a second, sometimes it takes a second to load. I didn't buy anything. You saw what I was doing, and boom, there you go. Automatically bought us these 5 stocks, okay? And this is what Ray Dalio recommends. It is these 5 stocks in these proportions, okay? It's buying 40% of your portfolio into TLT, which is a bond index, okay, a long-term bond index. 30% of your money into SPY, which is S&P 500. 15% of your money into IEF, which is a short-term bond index in the United States. GLD, 7.5%, which is gold, if you know, that makes sense. and DJP, which is commodities, which includes like oil and silver and all sorts of other stuff, pork bellies and whatever, right? This is kind of the mix that Ray Dalio recommends. And what this strategy will do for you, automatically will rebalance it on a regular basis, which is exactly T for T what Ray Dalio recommends. So we could do that automatically using code. Cool, right? So that's one strategy. Let's show you another strategy, okay? So now that was diversification. And to kind of show you how it looks like, this is the code for the diversification strategy. We basically, for those of you that are interested, that know how to code, we follow very much kind of the layout that React uses, their way of setting up code. We have basically something called, and I'm just saying this to those of you that are programmers in the room, it's a very well-designed library. We spent a lot of time figuring this out. This kind of borrows from React, which is a very well done library as well. For those of you that know how to code, basically we have different functions. We call it lifecycle methods, the same thing as React. And basically you use these lifecycle methods to set up what you want to do at each step, right? Before the market opens, what do you want to do? Before you start trading, what do you want to do? On a trading iteration, which runs every minute or 2 minutes or whatever frequency you want it to be, you execute some code. You get trace stats, which gives you more details on what the strategy is doing. If you look into here, we have logs, right? This is a log of everything that it did. This is a CSV file, so we can actually open this up. Where's that little button? I don't know where it is right now, but basically this is a CSV file. You could open up in Excel and you can see exactly what the strategy was doing each and every single day, what your portfolio value was. You can graph it out, all that sort of stuff. We made it very easy for you to do that sort of stuff. And that's basically the way that the code works, okay? And then diversification basically just follows that and uses that kind of example here. We have an initialize method where we set up kind of the basics. These are our ratios. If you want, you could copy this example strategy and mess around with this. You could change your ratios. You could change what assets you want. It's very easy for you to do that. You could change the amount of time between rebalancing. Very easy to modify this stuff. This is on trading iteration, kind of the main thing of what's happening inside. Like this is very short code. Do you know how long, like honestly, building something like this from scratch is a crazy amount of code. We've made it really, really easy for you guys to build this sort of thing out. So this is kind of the main thing happening here. Trace stats is giving us a little bit more detail on what's happening. And then on abrupt close, which I just did, when I stopped it, we say sell everything, which is why when we go back to Alpaca, everything is sold now. Okay. So it's kind of a little bit of a preview of like how all this works. Okay. So that's one strategy. Let's show you another strategy. Okay. Let's show you guys. So first of all, any questions about that? If you guys have questions, ask throughout. I'm more than happy to answer any questions that you guys have. Use the Q&A or use the chat, right? Okay, cool. So that was diversification. Let's do momentum now. Okay, momentum is, remember, okay, so we have a chat, perfect. Did the trade make profit? Yes, it makes profit over time. So we actually, I'll do an intraday one as well for you, Rob. I'll show off the intraday one. Actually, we could do that next. Why not? We'll do the intraday one next, just for you, Rob. And I'll run this. Okay. And then, sorry, Jerry, I was answering Rob as well. But did the trade make profit? Yes, this trades make profit. I mean, this in particular, that's a long-term strategy, right? So that will definitely make you a lot of money over a longer period of time. And we know that because we back tested it, right? We back tested and we know that it beats S&P 500. I can modify this. The only problem is it'll take a long time to do it. But I can tell you this strategy over a long period of time, the diversification strategy will beat the S&P 500, especially if you add in a bit of leverage, you know? You can definitely beat the S&P 500 with that strategy. So intraday momentum, this is another strategy. I just want to show you guys, it bought automatically Tesla, okay? So we're running an intraday momentum strategy. What this does, okay, is it looks at these assets here, okay? SPY, GLD, TLT, MSFT, and Tesla. I'll show you that in code as well, intraday momentum. These are the symbols, right? You could change them to be whatever you want, right? It looks at them every 1 minute. And again, easy to modify every 1 minute, whatever. And then checks which one performed the best, okay? So it bought Tesla for us, okay? And you can see why, because Tesla was doing the best over the past 2 minutes, okay? So it's an intraday momentum strategy. And then we'll wait a minute. And then, oh, actually it did run it again already, okay? And it says swapping Tesla for Microsoft. And that's because Microsoft had a return of 0.08, whereas Tesla had a return of negative 0.1%. And this is again in a 2-minute time frame. Okay, so we're talking about minute by minute kind of stuff. So because Microsoft was doing the best, now we actually swapped out that Tesla and we bought Microsoft. Okay, and we'll wait for a second. We'll see it actually show up. Sometimes I have to refresh it. Let me go back here. Yeah, there you go. Let me refresh this page because it might not be loading. This happens so quickly that, oh, I wonder why. Insufficient buying power. That's why, because we have a bunch of stuff going on here. So you know what? Why don't we have the buying power? That's a bit odd. Portfolio value 0. For some reason, we don't. Maybe we have. I probably have like some outstanding trades that I didn't cancel before. I apologize about that, guys. Paper orders, open orders. Let's say close orders, filled. Okay, saying it doesn't have enough. Okay, let's restart this. Okay. Sell everything. Right, so now we make sure that we get everything sold, and now we'll be able to, oh, you know what? I think I know why as well, because we set our, I'm gonna do this. This will make it easier. I'm gonna change our budget to be 50,000, and that will actually make this work for you guys. Okay, so let's run this again. I apologize. Sometimes we do this for many times, and you know, we just changed our budget recently from, you know, it was 40,000 normally we changed it to 100,000, which it doesn't work here because we only have $94,000, so we can't buy everything, right? So okay, so there you go. So we ran again. It bought Tesla again because that was the best performing asset, right? 0.5% over a 2-minute period. Okay, and then if we watch this thing run again, it will switch over, and this time we'll actually see it buy another one. So I'm just going to keep talking until it actually does switch. But basically, you could imagine you could change this to anything, right? Like, I mean, this is momentum minute by minute. We have students that are really making good money doing this stuff, to be quite honest with you. Using all sorts of interesting stuff like pivot points, using things like RSI, using things like getting data from Reddit, for example, using that to actually execute trades, accessing all sorts of different economic data. I've seen students build all sorts of crazy cool algorithms. You could talk to them, you could watch the videos with them and actually see what they've done, and they're making good money. So are we. And I showed you guys earlier, you know, we're using these types of techniques, and we're making good money as well. So to kind of rest assured there. Tesla is still the best symbol. So a minute went by, still the best symbol. So it didn't swap it. Okay, so we're still keeping that. If we give it another minute, it will actually swap things for another stock, hopefully. It's always fun doing these live webinars because you never know what's going to happen. You never know what's going to happen in the actual market. So we'll just give it another minute. Can we program in reversals or zero-line changeovers? I'm vaguely familiar with these things, but yes, I mean, any kind of technicals, right? You can program in pretty much anything, right? So reversals, I know is kind of the idea of, you know, one that stock that's been going up and it's going to reverse, I believe, right? I'm not too familiar with this strategy in particular, but yes, I mean, technical type strategies are very easy to build into this sort of thing. And when you take this class, if you're in this class, I will actually help you build that out, right? I was helping out a lot of our other students build out their things with pivot points, build out all sorts of different things. Still keeping Tesla. Again, this is it's the funny thing with doing live. It doesn't want to. Tesla just is too good, you know. It just wants to keep Tesla the whole time. But yeah, so so we could teach you to do all sorts of cool strategies. I mean, you name it. Like, and especially when you go through our class, I'll even show you how to research this sort of stuff, right? You can back test these types of strategies. Is it a good strategy to do, right? We'll teach you how to do that. We'll teach you how to find new strategies, right? We'll teach you how to actually program all these strategies. It's very easy to do this sort of stuff. I'm telling you, we have a lot of this code available, so it makes it easy for you guys to do this. Again, the whole point of this company is for us to take the techniques that these big hedge funds, they're making crazy amounts of money, and we want to bring it to you and make it easier for you guys to do this sort of stuff, right? I worked on Wall Street for a while. I don't like it how these guys with billions of dollars, all they do is make more money. I love being able to take those techniques and bring it to everyday people. And that's what we're all about. Okay. Tesla's doing way too well today. So I'll take some feedback from you guys. We could either keep waiting for this to see if there's another stock that does better than Tesla over the next few minutes. But basically what this strategy would do normally is BTC. Yeah, we can BTC. I'm not entirely sure. Can we trade Bitcoin? Is the question? Is that what the question is? Yeah, we're adding that in as well. We're adding in basically the ability. Yeah, exactly. We're adding in the ability to trade Bitcoin as well. So the way that we do that is you just add another broker. That's it. We're adding another broker that is basically Binance, and you'll be able to trade Bitcoin or Ethereum or any other cryptos as well. It's the same thing, really. It's just a broker. It's just another broker that we interact with, right? Can we play small cap stocks, especially high flyers, momentum? Oh yeah, you could definitely do that sort of stuff. There is a lot of risk, but it's also a lot of money that could be made. I'll tell you. Okay, there we go. Finally, sorry, I want to show you guys. We finally swapped it out. Something finally beat Tesla today in TLT. See how it switched over? Switch over from Tesla to TLT. That's what's doing intraday. Cool. Just want to show you guys because it took a while for that to happen. Finally. So what happens when you do a live webinar, right? Okay, so yeah, so small cap stocks, pre-market, market opening. Yeah, absolutely. You can do that sort of stuff. Alpaca allows you, I believe it allows you to trade pre-market. TD Ameritrade allows you to trade pre-market. Yeah, absolutely. You could do a lot of like stock screening kind of stuff where you're looking for specific things, automatically buying stocks that are peaking pre-market, buy into those. You could do all sorts of stuff like that. Absolutely. Can you backtest intraday strategy? Yes, we can. Right now, there's a little bit of a bug happening with this, which we just finished resolving, and we're going to send this. We're going to update our library probably later this week, right? With that bug fix. And the reason why is just there's so much data that you have to work with for intraday. Think about this: if you're trading a stock if you're backtesting 10 years of data, you need to get minute by minute data for every single day for 10 years, and then you have to actually run an algorithm over that. So there's a lot of data to deal with, and you can absolutely do that sort of thing with our library, where it's going to be capable of doing that in probably 2 or 3 days. We just fixed it to be able to do that sort of thing. So yes, you can do that. Okay. All right, cool. So that was intraday. I'll show you guys also our momentum strategy. So again, I close this. It automatically sold it. It had SPY, and it's going to sell everything automatically, right? I'm not touching this stuff. Okay, so now momentum. Does an intraday strategy like this have much commission that degrades ROI? No, it doesn't. I mean, Alpaca is commission free. There's zero commission on it, right? You got to worry about spreads, right? But you can put in limit orders to make sure that you're not getting eaten by spreads. You know what I mean? Yeah. So that's another reason why we picked Alpaca. Alpaca is it's an awesome broker. Really, they're very, very good. Can you just explain the difference between writing my own program or using software like Trade Ideas that are claiming they run their own strategy, trading robots, which I can trade, which as a trader can use without knowing programming? So, I mean, yeah, there are other programs available that allow you to do like this sort of trading, through what they're doing. Knowing how to code will allow you to do much more complex strategies, right? There's stuff that they definitely do not have available. I mean, this like Reddit stuff, like doing machine learning, this is not stuff that they have. You can't do that kind of stuff with the stuff that Trade Ideas has. I'm not familiar with them in particular, but there's plenty of things like this. They don't have that. They don't have the machine learning. They don't have the Reddit kind of stuff. They don't have the Twitter, and they probably have a limited amount of indicators, limited amount of assets you could trade. With code, you can do pretty much everything. I mean, there's no limits, right? So you're going to be able to do all sorts of different stuff. And not to mention, knowing how to code is a very valuable skill. I don't know if you guys know the pay that you get when you know how to code. The average salary in America for a data science, for someone who knows how to do data science, is about 130 grand a year. So think about that for a second. It's also a great skill to learn, and we teach you exactly how to use that kind of skill, right? I use Thinkorswim. It sounds like I need to switch. Okay. I think Thinkorswim is awesome, by the way. That's my favorite broker is TD Ameritrade. We use TD. Love those guys. They have great commissions and all sorts of stuff. They have a lot of different assets. Alpaca is great because it's commission free. It's kind of like Robinhood, but with APIs. It's awesome, right? So it depends on what you want to do, right? My favorites are TD Ameritrade, which is Thinkorswim as well. And Alpaca. Those are my favorite brokers in America, hands down. Right. Okay, cool. So intraday momentum, we're going to stop that. Okay. So we stop the intraday momentum. Okay. And I'm going to show you our last strategy, okay, which is our momentum strategy. This is kind of the code for it. I'm going to run it while I'm talking. So what this is going to do again is it's going to take this strategy. So momentum strategy again, if you remember, I was saying earlier, basically looks over the past, X amount of days, whichever asset performed the best. In this case, I gave it a list: SPY, VEU, AGG. This is because one of my students back in the day, he wanted to do this sort of strategy, so we kind of stuck with it. Basically, SPY is S&P 500, as you guys I'm sure know. VEU is everything other than the S&P 500, so all the other stocks in the world other than US stocks, okay? And then AGG is an aggregate bond index, okay? So we're taking those three and we're saying which one of those has done the best over the past few days, and then we want to buy that and hold on to it, okay? And that's basically the situation here. I ran that just now. It did a back test, and when you see the back test here, again, in 2018, we could see the S&P 500 did 3.3% for the S&P 500. For our strategy, we did 7.75. We killed the S&P 500 in 2018. If you had used this strategy, you would have been much, much better off than S&P 500 would have been if you just like owned the regular stock index, right? So we beat the S&P 500 by 10% that year. And not only did we beat it, but we did it with less volatility, right? Lower standard deviation, which means we had a higher Sharpe ratio. We lost less money. Our max drawdown, the worst time that we ever had was we lost 9%. Whereas S&P 500, the worst time was they lost 19%. So we beat the S&P 500 like crazy. We beat it. And not only that, but we did it with lower risk. So definitely a good strategy in this light over here. Is the trend of algos these days more like your algo samples or more based on indicators? So the trend in algos, I mean, everyone's doing something different, right? The trend is that, I mean, if anything, there's a trend towards machine learning, right? A trend towards machine learning. A lot of people are doing options now as well, which is why we're going to be making an options course soon too. But yeah, like, I mean, there's a big trend towards machine learning. There's obviously a big trend. I think it's like 90% of trades these days are automated. When you guys are trading on the stock market, by the way, you're using Robinhood or something like that, keep in mind, you're trading against robots, okay? You are not playing against other people, okay? This is not a fair game. It's you versus some highly sophisticated robots that are trading on your behalf, that are trading on these other people's behalf. So if you think that you're going to beat these stock traders on your own, it's going to be very, very difficult, right? Which is why we've built out algo trading so you can you have the edge against them as well, right? These hedge fund, like again, 90% of the stock market is algorithms right now. If you're not using algorithms, you're missing out, to be honest with you, right? And then in terms of like the trends, I mean, everyone's doing something different. I hear a lot of people doing technicals. You can make money doing technicals. It really depends on what you're doing specifically. There's a lot of stuff on fundamental analysis. I have one student right now that used to work in banking for, I think, 40 years, right? And he ran actually a hedge fund that trades out of financials based on his like specific recommendations. They made good money, and he basically wants to automate that now. So there's a lot of money to be doing, a lot of money to be made doing that sort of thing. There's machine learning, which we have another class of machine learning that, is basically using artificial intelligence to trade for you. There's like looking at looking at Reddit and Twitter and trading based off that. There are so many things that you guys can do, by the way. Like there's so many different ways to make money with algorithms. And again, to be honest with you, I think you're at a significant disadvantage not doing algorithmic trading, just because there's so many other players out there that are. It's like, imagine you're playing a game of chess and you're playing against a bunch of machines. Who do you think is going to win, right? And that's really why we create this course, and that's really why we use these types of techniques as well. And we do have the returns to prove it. Okay, cool. So that was the strategy. This is the momentum strategy. It decided to buy SPY because SPY was doing the best over that period of time. Okay. So I think if we refresh this, we'll see that actually there. It's not there, but yeah, says it was filled. Either way, that's the strategy here. Our momentum trading strategy, which basically buys and sells stocks based off of their momentum. I'm going to run this again one more time to kind of give you guys that little example of the momentum strategy. So we have we demoed 3 of them. We demoed diversification, momentum, and intraday, right? We went over kind of, yeah, there it is. It just took a while to show up. Okay, cool. So yeah, so there we go. That's our demo. We showed off our stocks. We showed off our code. We introed you to algo trading. What other questions do you guys have? What else can I help you guys out with before we sign off for today? I love how you guys have been asking questions throughout. Again, you can ask questions through the chat, or you can ask questions through Q&A. They both work. I'm reading both. Can we use it for investing versus trading, auto balance reporting, etc.? Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's what this diversification strategy is, right? It's like automatically rebalancing things, right? So diversification is rebalancing between these 5 stocks and in these specific ratios. You could literally just copy and paste the strategy and use it, right? If you want to do like a rebalancing strategy, you're going to also get a lot of the reporting from this as well. Yeah, absolutely. You could do that sort of thing. Can you build algos off of watch lists and then program from there? Yeah, absolutely. You can connect to a lot of these watch lists through API and have it automatically buy and sell that stuff through an API, right? It depends on the watch list, obviously, but yeah, you can do all that sort of stuff. One thing that I'll show you guys this is pretty cool. I brought this up to on our Discord, which by the way, you guys should join our Discord. I'm going to try to find where this was because I posted this a little while ago. What was the last time I posted? Robert Grezik. I posted a bunch of stuff helping students. And then in general, this was, okay, there you go. So there is this little thing here, Swaggy Stocks. This tells you kind of what Reddit is pumping these days, right? It tells you these are different tickers. It gives you GME has the most amount of mentions. You could actually hook this up to an API and actually trade based off this, right? There's this one, and there's another one that's formatted a little differently that might be easier to read with a machine. These are the top stocks. You could basically just do this, right? Like you could just take this and build a little algorithm that's buying and selling this stuff for you automatically, right? You could do a lot of stuff with code. It's amazing how much stuff you could do with code. So yeah, watch lists and all sorts of other stuff you could do. How do I get a copy of this PowerPoint? I will be sending you basically a recording of this class, but go on our YouTube. That's really the answer here. Go on our YouTube. This is basically recording live right now on YouTube. Okay, so once we stop this, we'll stop recording, and it will turn into a recording that you can listen to over again. I'm going to put into the description a link to this PowerPoint. Okay. Also, you can look at their past ones. We do these like every 2 weeks, by the way. You can look at one of our past ones. If you go into here, for example, one of our past recordings, this is a slide presentation right here. You can click on that link and you can get access to the slides. Okay. So go through our YouTube is really what it is. We're also going to be sending it to you through email, so you'll have access to it that way as well. All right. Okay. Do you have live stats on existing strategy that shows profit and loss on say a week or a month or a year? We don't have that. I should do that. I've been thinking about doing that. I think we're going to do something like that soon, and probably also put it up on YouTube so you guys can watch our trading algorithms. You know, like maybe what I'll do is put up a live YouTube feed so you guys can just watch our algorithms all day long if you want. You know, I think that'd be kind of cool. You know, so we don't have that yet. Planning on doing that. Yes. Cool. But yeah, you can see kind of our returns. This is from one of the portfolios we managed. We did quite well over the past year. Again, S&P 500 did 17%. We did 53%. I could tell you, this is not even our best performer. I swear to you, we made a lot of money the past year, which is great, which is also why I think it makes a lot of sense for us to build kind of like a hedge fund out of this, right? What I would love to do and what we're working towards is to build kind of like a hedge fund with all you guys. We want to build like trading competitions where you guys can build your own algorithms and compete for money, right? Where you guys can build an algorithm, whoever wins over, you know, a week or a month or something, paper trading, we can invest in you guys like $10,000 and basically, you know, be part of a hedge fund. We want to create like a socialized hedge fund. I think that'd be really, really cool, you know? So yeah, so that's the kind of thing that we're aiming towards. We'll also show off kind of like our returns on a daily basis. We're planning a lot of these things. We have a limited amount of resources. We're moving as fast as we can. Right now, the emphasis really is on these classes and making sure that we can get as many people through this as possible. Because I want you guys to be able to do this kind of stuff and screw the big guys, screw these billionaires. Let's make the money ourselves, Okay, cool. Any other questions? And you're welcome for answering questions. Thank you for asking them, by the way. Thank you. Any other questions? Again, if you guys want to buy, make sure you don't wait till the last minute. You could book a call, by the way, with Alicia on our thing. Make sure you book a call. You can speak to her. She can answer more questions for you. There's somewhere book a call link. If you go look at our course here, you go down, there is a book a call link somewhere on here. There actually isn't. Oh, there it is at the very bottom. You can book a call, click here. You can book a call, speak to Alicia. She'll be able to help you out with a lot of different kinds of stuff, set you up, get you going, answer any other questions that you guys have. It's also at the very bottom of our page here, general book a call. It's right next to testimonials if you want to see that. Okay. If you get on the phone, she might be able to give you guys some incentives. I can't guarantee you, but book a call and speak to her. I can tell you this course fills up very fast, so don't leave it to last minute. Our last course, we couldn't let everyone in, so definitely try to sign up as quickly as possible. Thank you. It's been 20 years since I last sat next to someone like you. His name was also Robert. Thanks, Frank. That's cool. Seems like it's a popular name. That's good to hear. Thank you. Yeah. So do we get any incentives? If you book a call with Alicia, she might be able to hook you up with some incentives, right? And you know what? Maybe I'll set something up and see if I can get you guys going in terms of some incentives. But I mean, I think one incentive is definitely, the class is just going to be full, So if you guys don't sign up, we just won't be able to get you in because we limit the amount of people on our course just because we don't want to have like 1 million people in there. And it's small course sizes where you actually learn, right? So make sure that you sign up from that perspective. Again, you go to Lumi Wealth, get started today, or just scroll down and then you want to click on algorithmic trading, learn more about the course. Right, and then you can actually purchase here, and here's all the different pricings that they can actually purchase. Yeah. All right. Thank you. You're welcome for a presentation, and thank you for being part of this. Any other questions I can answer before we sign off? Again, a recording of this is going to be on YouTube. Make sure you go on our YouTube channel, subscribe, because you're going to be getting a bunch of free stuff there as well. We're going to send out a recording of this. This is where you purchase. Right. Yeah. And I think that's about it. Thank you. Yeah. Tell her I want in phone just died. So I'm transferring new line. Now she wants to call me in 2 hours once data come in. So I'm assuming you just talked to her. Okay, cool. Tell her I want my phone, my phone just died. So I'm transferring new line now. If she wants to call me in 2 hours once data come in. Yeah, Jerry, we can get you on board. Let's do it. I think we probably have you in our database. Old phone is dead. You know what you could do, send me an email. You can either send myself or Alicia. Alicia is, let me type this out. It's rob@lumiwealth.com. Send me there, or alicia@lumiwealth.com. Alicia spelled with a J. That's not a typo. That's actually the way you spell her name. It's a Polish spelling. You could email either one of us. Send us your phone number and we'll give you a call. Just say you're interested in this. We'll reach out to you and we set this up. Old phone is dead. Same number once it reboots. I'll also bring this up to her. But send us an email. That's one way to make sure that we'll reach out to you. All right. Cool. Awesome. Anything else I could do for you guys before we sign off? No problem, Jerry. Cool. All right, guys. So thank you very much for being on this webinar. It's been a pleasure. Today was very active. I love this. I love this kind of feedback with you guys. I hope to see you in this class. Let's do some amazing stuff together. You know what I mean? Cool. Thanks again. And hope you guys have a great day.